What if Anakin had a vision of choking Padme on Mustafar? In Revenge of the Sith, Anakin has a vision of Padme dying in childbirth. This causes him to lose control of his emotions, and he eventually succumbs to Palpatine's manipulations and falls to the dark side. And we all know the rest. But what if this wasn't the case? And what if, instead of the dreams of Padme's death, Anakin has a vision of choking her on Mustafar? How would that change the Star Wars timeline we all know and love today?
Ignite your imagination with Fantasy Sabers.
Let's start today's story during the events of Revenge of the Sith. Anakin has just returned from the Outer Rim sieges and is finally home with Padme for the first time in months. He has just learned that she was pregnant, and he couldn't be any happier or more excited for the future. However, as Anakin falls asleep, he slips into a nightmare. In the original timeline, Anakin sees Padme die in childbirth, but now his vision goes red and he is transported to Mustafar. He has never been to this planet before and is confused as to what the Force is telling him. But then he sees his Jedi starfighter and Padme's J-type star skiff. He begins to shake in his bed, and as the vision intensifies, he watches Anakin and Padme begin to argue. Then, with seemingly no discourse, Anakin reaches out with his hand and force chokes Padme as she clings onto life. Anakin screams in the nightmare, begging himself to stop, to not injure his wife and unborn child. But Padme is choked unconscious and she falls to the floor, leaving her future and their children's future in the balance. Anakin wakes up screaming and panting. What did he just see? He thought to himself. He goes to the living room overlooking the Coruscant night sky, where he meditates. Padme follows Anakin, asking what happened and why he was screaming. Anakin was ashamed. How could he tell her that he had a premonition of himself essentially killing her and their child? It's important to note that originally Anakin just sees her die in childbirth. There was no evidence that he was the cause or involved in any way. But this vision literally shows him as the one who kills her. Just like Revenge of the Sith, Anakin doesn't initially tell her, but Padme is persistent and eventually he opens up. Padme says that it's just a dream and his subconscious playing tricks on him. But Anakin countered, saying he had similar dreams of his mother and those came true, and maybe this nightmare will come into fruition. Anakin was pacing back and forth and in a fit of uncontrollable panic. Any Jedi lessons of being calm and focusing on the present were out of his mind. Padme tells him he should seek counsel with Master Yoda, that perhaps his wisdom could help. The following day, Anakin goes to Yoda's meditation room and confides in him.
Yes. Darkness, I sense, young Skywalker. You're in pain. Terrible pain.
Master, I saw a loved one die by my hand. I had turned to the dark side. I couldn't control my anger. Yoda placed his hand on his chin as he tried to unravel this mystery. As Grand Master, Yoda was visited by Jedi who had confided in him very often, and they would work together to find a solution. Yoda could tell that Anakin was uptight. This vision was consuming his every thought. I don't understand, Master Yoda. Why would I turn to the dark side? Why would I turn on everything and everyone?
Impossible to see, the future is.
Yoda couldn't give Anakin the answers he was hoping for. He simply tells Anakin to search deep within himself, to find any turmoil that could cause him to turn to the dark side. Here, Yoda outright asks Anakin if he can think of any triggers that would turn him to the dark side, and as Anakin closes his eyes, he could think of dozens, but primarily, his marriage to Padme, their unborn child, his mother's death, his discontent with the council, their treatment of Ahsoka, the list went on. Anakin knew he wasn't an ordinary Jedi. His human traits hadn't been nullified in pursuit of becoming a Jedi. He still loved, held attachments, and believed that shutting these things off didn't make you a better Jedi Knight. I'm afraid, Master Yoda, I won't let these visions come true.
Careful you must be when sensing the future, Anakin. Fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
What must I do, Master Yoda? Yoda tells Anakin to meditate with him, to find balance. The key to overcoming these dreams is to be at complete and total compliance with one's needs. Anakin cannot let his emotions dictate his future, and instead, he must feel the flow of the Force. Hey guys, the Fantasy Sabers Christmas sale is officially live, where all our deluxe replicas, including Anakin, Obi-Wan, Luke and Darth Vader, are the cheapest they've ever been, and the cheapest on any site in the market. We're also giving away a free The Chosen One Anakin Deluxe replica with orders over 250 USD cart value. This is the perfect opportunity to pick up a saber as a gift for your friend or family member, or if you've been thinking about grabbing one for yourself, this will be the last big sale we do until May next year, so now is the time. I will leave a link to the website in the description below, or type fantasysabers.com on Google. Thanks again, and back to the video. Anakin and Yoda meditate for hours with no words spoken, simply allowing the Force to surround them and drive them in different directions. Yoda begins to coach Anakin as they meditate.
Feel the Force, young Skywalker. Feel its pull, follow its direction, and find your answers, you will.
As Anakin obeyed, he let his mind wander to Padme, to their future together. He begins to smile as he pictured their life on Naboo, away from politics and war, just them and their family. But quickly, his mind turned to darkness, and without warning, he was thrust back to the vision he had the night before. He sees the same thing, himself and Padme on Mustafar arguing, before Anakin outstretches his hand and chokes Padme. Anakin begins to scream profusely, bringing Yoda out of his meditation as he tries to bring Anakin back. He shakes Anakin from side to side, telling Skywalker to calm, to not let the vision take over. But Anakin was a sailing ship during a tsunami. There was no control. As Anakin watched Padme get choked unconscious, he exited the vision, yelling in pain and fear. "I saw it again, Master. I can't do this. My friend is going to die." He almost let it slip. It was in this moment that Yoda understood the extent of these visions. This wasn't just a normal, simple Jedi issue. Anakin was having a metamorphosis, and he needed his help.
No composer. Very dangerous this is. Clouding your judgment, your emotions are.
What must I do, Master Yoda?
Train you, I will. Master your composure, you must, or be consumed by it, you will.
When the Wookiees on Kashyyyk call for Jedi assistance, the Council sends Luminara Unduli and Kit Fisto instead of Yoda, as he elected to remain on Coruscant to help Anakin. From here, Anakin and Yoda begin training together. Yoda was a very special tutor, and Anakin took these lessons seriously. These were not lessons of physical abilities or using a lightsaber, but rather looking inward and learning to control his emotions. Yoda would use the Force to induce a vision, giving Anakin the ability to learn restraint. At first, Anakin was terrible at this. He would flail and lash out in fear, but as time progressed, he got better. They practiced for hours on end, deep into the night. Yoda sent Anakin through various tests. He saw Obi-Wan held captive by Dooku, the Jedi Temple overrun by battle droids, anything and everything Yoda could think of. He even sent Anakin back in time to his youth, and in Anakin's visions, gave the boy a chance to save Qui-Gon, but through his tutelage, ensuring that Anakin was able to let go of Qui-Gon and move on. This helped Anakin immensely. He was able to grow and see things from a far healthier lens. Anakin never had this perspective, and it completely changed his outlook on what it meant to be a Jedi. Eventually, he could finally witness the horrific premonitions of himself choking Padme without his emotions overpowering him. However, while he had mastered his reaction, the vision's meaning remained a dangerous mystery, prompting Yoda to decide that they must travel to Mustafar itself to confront the vision at its source and uncover the truth the Force is trying to show them. They leave and arrive on Mustafar. What do you hope to find, Master?
The truth. Speak to you in many ways, the Force does. Always clear, it is not. But let it hear, it has. And show us what it wants to, it will.
They walk through the control room, across the lava bank, trying to find any clues that might help them. But it isn't until they walk onto the landing platform from Anakin's nightmares that something happens. Anakin is thrusted back into the vision, this time harder than ever before. He sees what he has seen all along, but this time, when Padme grabs her throat, Obi-Wan is standing on the landing platform and tells Anakin to stop. The vision fast forwards, and Master and Apprentice begin fighting, swinging across the lava planet as Anakin watches in horror. What could ever cause him and Obi-Wan to fight? Anakin thought to himself. He begins to sweat profusely as Yoda tries telling Anakin to maintain control, to not get overwhelmed and keep his composure, but it was getting difficult. As the vision continued, Anakin saw Obi-Wan jump to the lava bank and claim the high ground. He kept watching as Obi-Wan sliced off Anakin's arms and legs and left the Jedi alone on the lava bank, defeated, burned, and seemingly dead. Finally, Sidious approaches and touches Anakin on the forehead. Anakin was thrust back to reality as he screamed in horror. Did he just watch his own death, he thought to himself.
Calm down, young one. Just a vision it was, not your future it is.
I saw my own death. Obi-Wan, we fought. He left me for dead. Yoda was very concerned. He says the vision isn't making sense to him. The little green Grand Master paces back and forth on the landing platform as he tries to make sense of what Anakin was telling him.
The reason for your return. Key that is. If pinpoint that we can. Stop it from happening, we will.
Yoda then asked something that he wasn't going to mention, as he didn't think he needed to know, but given the situation, he now thought it was necessary.
Young Skywalker, who is the beloved one you choke? Centered around your fear, this is. The missing piece to it all, they are.
Anakin froze. He didn't want to say it was Padme, to reveal they are in a relationship and she's pregnant with his child. But also, Yoda was the only one that could help him now, and at this point, not telling him risks the vision becoming his future. Master, I don't really know how to say this, but it's Senator Padme Amidala. Anakin pauses, preparing himself for potentially ruining his future as a Jedi. We got married in secret, and we are expecting a baby. Yoda looks at him and doesn't even mask his emotion. First it was disbelief, confusion, then disappointment.
Told me sooner, you should have helped us in training. It would have run out of time, we may.
What do you mean, Master Yoda?
I mean the vision is clear now. Darth Sidious will use this attachment against you.
I don't understand. Nobody knows about this except me and Padme. There's no way of this mysterious Sith Lord interfering and discovering it. Yoda told Anakin to use his clever mind. He told the young boy that premonitions are not always true, and they are especially not always natural. For Anakin to suddenly receive recurring visions of him killing his wife, well, it's likely not a coincidence. You think the Sith Lord is giving me these nightmares? How is that even possible? Yoda detailed the Sith of old using Jedi's minds against them. Anakin asks what they do now, and Yoda says that Anakin must ensure that he retains control over himself, that he can't succumb to his emotions the second something inconvenient happens. He must always be ready. Their training over the last couple of days has helped immensely, and Anakin was the most composed he had ever been in his entire life. But there was still work to do. As they spoke on the landing platform, they heard the sound of engines roaring above. Both Jedi dart off the landing platform and into hiding, waiting to see who it is. As the ship's doors open, both Jedi are shocked to see all 8 Separatist leaders exiting and walking towards the Mustafar control room. The leaders include Newt Gunray, Pascal Argente, Rune Hako, San Hill, Shu Mai, Po Nudo, Poggle the Lesser, and Wat Tambor. Anakin and Yoda couldn't believe it, and it could be the key to ending the war.
Come, Skywalker, arrest them, we will.
The Separatist leaders stood no chance when Anakin and Yoda appeared. They quickly destroyed the battle droids guarding them, but successfully arrested all 8 of the leaders. When they get back to Coruscant, the Separatist leaders are placed in custody. With the entire Separatist Council arrested, Palpatine's endgame is in jeopardy. He can't execute Order 66 without an active war, as he needs to position the Jedi as the enemy. And since the Separatist leaders are all in custody, the war is essentially over. Or on the face of it, it's over at least. Therefore, Palpatine's speech where he calls for emergency powers wouldn't work. He becomes desperate and isolated. Now Palpatine would sense a disturbance in Anakin, but would misinterpret it as fear about Padme's death and his vision, compared to being distant in the Force because Anakin has learnt a lot of emotional control in the last 48 hours. As a result, Palpatine summons Anakin to his office. Just like Revenge of the Sith, he would tell Anakin that the Jedi cannot be trusted. He reveals he knows about his nightmares and about his wife, and that she's in danger from himself, but if he turns to the dark side, he can save her. Anakin's mind would immediately go back to Mustafar, when Yoda said the Sith Lord could have created the visions. Anakin played devil's advocate and continued to listen to Palpatine.
"Hey boy, you must not listen to the fog of lies the Jedi are telling you. Join me, and together we can overcome your nightmare and bring peace to the galaxy."
Palpatine reveals himself as Darth Sidious. Anakin would be completely shocked. "You lied to me my entire life, and now you expect me to join you?"
"I lied for your sake, but now the Jedi are more arrogant and blind than ever, and we both know you want to save her, to save Padme."
In this story, Anakin's emotional composure allows him to retain control of his thoughts, and instead of lashing out and being emotional, he simply tells Palpatine that he needs time to process this, and he leaves his office just like he did in Revenge of the Sith. From here, Anakin would go straight back to Yoda's meditation chamber and tell him what he has learned. He said that Palpatine is the Sith Lord they have been looking for, and he thinks it was him who placed the vision of himself choking Padme.
"Troubling this is. Deal with this carefully, we will."
"Shouldn't we tell the council? If we all go, we will be able to arrest him easier and end this war." But Yoda says this must be handled with the utmost discretion. He tells Anakin that the entire council arresting Palpatine would not be a good look when they explain it to the Senate. He reminds Anakin the Senate blindly follows Palpatine's words, and it would be very difficult for the senators to believe that the true villain is a man they all idolize.
"Just me and you. Go we will. Fight together. Rely on each other. Be a team we will."
Anakin wasn't sure, but Yoda emphasized that if they bring Sidious down, then they can control how the Senate finds out.
"Trust you, the Senate does. Believe you are the best of us. Use that, we will. Destroy Sidious, and make a motion in the Senate, you will."
Anakin agrees. Anakin and Yoda go to Palpatine's office. Palpatine's initial reaction was shock. He was expecting more Jedi, like Windu and Saesee Tin, but in Palpatine's mind, this gave him an opportunity to manipulate Anakin and hopefully bring him to the dark side. Yoda declares that the Chancellor is under arrest for crimes against the Republic. Sidious scoffs.
"Master Yoda is toying with you, Anakin, keeping you locked in a cage that is the Jedi Order. I will free you from your chains."
"You're wrong about the Jedi, Chancellor. To be a Jedi is to help people, to do what's right for the betterment of the galaxy, regardless of what happens to you. You are selfish, and you only think of yourself. Who would want to join you?"
"So be it, Jedi.
I will make sure to visit your pitiful wife when I am done with you." The fight begins and their sabers clash across the office. Palpatine prioritized all 7 forms of lightsaber combat, while Yoda leaped across the room, and Anakin fought as hard as he could. Anakin used all of his training, switching between Force powers and brute strength, then back to the classic Form 5. He was powerful, but Sidious was the strongest fighter here, and everyone knew it. As they continued, Palpatine found an opening and exploited it. He used the Force to push Anakin away from Yoda, isolating them, and when Yoda leaped into the air, he is blasted by Sith lightning and knocked to the floor. Sidious points his lightsaber right at Yoda's throat as he looks across the room at Anakin.
"He is finished. Join me. Fulfill your destiny. Take your place at my side, and we will save Padme from the Jedi's lies."
Anakin stands at a crossroads. He sees 2 paths, one where he gives into his fear and becomes the Vision, and one where he rejects it. He knows exactly what path to follow. He ignites his blue lightsaber and stands triumphantly. "You were wrong. I am fulfilling my destiny." Anakin uses the Force to push Palpatine back, and Yoda stands back to his feet. The combined strength of the Grand Master and the Chosen One creates a level of power that hadn't been seen in generations. They were in complete synchronicity. As Palpatine tries to fight harder, he falters, and Yoda disarms Sidious by slicing his lightsaber in half, and Anakin stabs Palpatine directly in the chest. It was over. Yoda looks at Anakin and smiles. He knew the war was officially over, and that peace had been restored to the galaxy again.
"Not by destroying the Sith is balance achieved, but by saving yourself. You have saved us all. A new teacher you have become."
Following Palpatine's defeat, the Senate was informed, and although they were shocked, they came to believe it, and preparations were made for a new general election to find his replacement. At the Jedi Temple, Yoda explained that the Jedi Order needed to be reformed, and that Anakin had shown him that the Jedi were living in the past. He announces that the code will be modified to allow attachments, and they will increase the training at the temple to control one's emotions and not be consumed by them. He finally said that Anakin has passed his Jedi trial and is now a Jedi Master. As for Anakin and Padme, their children are safely born, and Anakin's vision of Mustafar never comes to fruition. Anakin is overjoyed, and as he watches his newborn twins play with Padme, he finally has everything he has ever wanted. If you enjoyed today's video, you must watch What If Anakin Had Visions of His Defeat on Mustafar, or What If Revan Joined the Jedi Council. Please check out Fantasy Sabers if you're looking for an affordable saber to add to your collection. We offer RGB, Xenopixel or Profi in various sizes and designs. Also check out our membership program to be able to watch our videos early. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.